how, I would love to say the hell, but I'd say, let me say, how the heck can we hold love and light when the outside world goes nuts? Looking at the state of the world makes it, from my feelings, really hard to hold on to love and light. And you might even ask yourself, isn't it selfish to follow my desires, to live my purpose, or even to just be happy when I look at what is going on in Ukraine? And I have to be honest, I really had a hard time believing that there is a war going on in Ukraine, in the center of Europe, in 2022. It's almost inconceivable. And I suspect I'm not the only one who feels that way. So if you're here with me, I encourage you, give me a yes. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I had a chat with my soul group Stella about this, because I just couldn't wrap my head around what is going on here. And if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to ask your questions, and I'll do my best to connect with Stella and get an answer for you. So feel free to post in the chat, ask your questions. I'm going to do a light language activation at the end of this Facebook Live. Let's get started. So first of all, I really want to let you know that you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't fail. You didn't mess up because there is a war going on. You didn't fail. Don't judge yourself, and also don't shame yourself. For example, like, oh, I should have done more. I didn't keep the energy high enough, or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go there, okay? Instead, what we can do is, I want to call this war thing just what it is. It's just contrast, a contrasting experience. And the contrasting experience that absolutely does not fit what I personally desire. It doesn't fit with who I am. It's certainly not in alignment with your desires and with who you really are. But we can use this contrast that has been created through this war. And I'm going to talk about this specifically. So the question, how can you and I and all of us focus on holding love and light, or even keep following our purpose, our personal desires, when something so awful happens in the world? And this war in Ukraine is by far not the only horrible thing that is happening right now. So first of all, I feel it's beneficial to understand what contrast really is. I already said that contrast is an experience that feels far from, especially this war, far from what we desire, far from what is in alignment with our desires. It might be our personal desires, but also our desires for the world. It isn't aligned with who we really are, and it isn't aligned with our desires. I brought my pendulum here to make a point. So what my soul group explained is that when something like war is happening, the pendulum goes all the way over here, war. But what happens is, you see, the pendulum goes back. So when the pendulum is all the way up here, war, It's only natural that the opposite happens. And with the opposite, I mean this contrast, this war has sparked a gigantic, and I mean gigantic, amount of opposite desires. War and opposite desires. And the opposite desires of war, hate, are all the high vibe desires that we have. Peace, of course, love and light and unconditional love, friendship, co-creation, appreciation. So when something so awful happens, like war, you can check in with yourself. What did it do? Your desire for the opposite was greatly sparked. I can tell it did in me. I was never aware that I had such a deep desire, such a deep yearning for a peaceful world. I wasn't aware before that happened. I had a desire for love and peace in the world, but now it's even heightened. And that's, if you want to say it like that, that's the beautiful thing about contrast. It sparks something that is on the opposite, on the very opposite side of the pendulum. And it did happen now all over the world, all over the world. This huge desire was born of love and peace and all the high vibrational experiences and feelings. We can and we must use this contrast in the only way that really benefits us and benefits the world. And that is, let's see it as something that sparked something amazingly beneficial and amazingly valuable and beautiful, because it did. It really did. And the key here is that we do not allow ourselves to get caught up in the contrast. So if the pendulum went to war, it automatically created those huge desires throughout the world, which is amazing. And our job is not to keep being stuck in what happened, not to keep being stuck in the contrast, but to focus on that desire that has been created because of the contrast. So I invite you, I invite myself, I invite all of us to go and focus on the desire that has been hugely created in yourself, in all of us in the world. Everything is energy. Every single thing is energy. Even this war, this contrast that is going on is energy. And we can shift energy. We can play with energy. We can change energy. We can influence energy. We can, in other words, make use of this gigantic, huge desire for peace, love that has been created since this war has started. So let's go there. Let's focus on it. I want to say, let's stubbornly focus on it, because what we want is to give it even more energy. We don't want to focus on the contrast, on the war. We don't want to stay there, because where we focus, we put our energy. The energy flows where focus goes. So let's focus on those beautiful desires that have been created because of this contrasting war that is going on. Let's use our power of focus to allow the energy to float there. stubbornly. Let's be stubborn about this. That's alignment. Focusing on what desire has been sparked is creating alignment. And you know that alignment trumps misalignment any day of the week, even if there are a couple of people, one person specifically, I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to give my energy there. Even if there are people and there are in the world that are not in alignment, if we are in alignment, and we are many who are in alignment, then this energy is gonna get bigger and bigger. And there could be, and I firmly believe that there could be something very beneficial coming from what is currently happening. So let's do the work. Let's use the contrast and go with the desire that it has sparked in us and in the whole world. Let's stubbornly focus on that desire. Yes, it's so good to have a positive alignment. Absolutely, absolutely. We are so powerful if we are aligned, and we lose all our power if we are miserable and go where we feel misaligned. That's not where our power lies, and we can only serve the world. We can only give something to this world if and when we are in alignment. So I invite you to focus on what this contrast sparked in you, whether it was a huge desire for love, for abundance, for friendship, co-creation, peace, of course. Go there. And I invite you to go there with me right now, because I really want to allow the energy to flow there even more and make those desires bigger and bigger so they expand to the whole world. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to do a light language activation of all these amazingly beautiful high vibrational desires that have been created because of what is going on right now. And I invite you to focus on the desires that have been sparked, that you gave birth to because of the war that is going on in Ukraine. Can we do that? So even if you're watching the recording afterwards, I invite you to join us, put your focus there, and I'm gonna do a light language activation. I can read a yes, so yes, thank you very much. Yes, let's do this. I invite you to focus there while I do the light language activation, activating all of our desires, making them bigger, juicier, better, spanning the world. All right. Koyorona ravendette, kerannara yono, korayara vandatte, kirinarena yondo. Eratterennejo, kulanavarattajatte, erennerettejo, karera venarantondo. Inarenejaratte, kenakkoronnondo, kejannene menatte, kurunarene inaranajare, kittaranoja paratte, inarroyannave, kenerano ranantende, iyaranaratte, kenalakayoro, inatte keneyato kururanarayara, Erare negeyatto kola navane vende. Oyo nere neratto kalera nenarantondo. Eya rinendatto koyatta nimmaye. Eya neganatte kuluna yanavanoro. Teratte nikkeno unanayali rendatto. Koronoriteye kalera nenarantondo. I quickly want to share what I felt. I felt that there is something, that there has been created something already that weighs out all the bad stuff that is happening right now. It might not have manifested in physical form yet, but the amount of what has been created by you, by me, by all of us is tremendous. It's tremendous. And I invite you to take a moment and just feel into that, because I really, really felt it. And I felt it's so much huger than, it's so much bigger than this other side already. So much bigger than this other side already. I just want to share that with you. And I have hope. I really have hope. I believe we can do this together. So let's focus on our most aligned desires that have been sparked because of what is going on. And let's give ourselves permission to go there and to follow whatever feels super good and super juicy, super aligned, because it ultimately serves this cause that we all came here to make a contribution. I feel we came here because of these times. We didn't fail because we see what is happening. We came exactly because of what is happening. Let's use our power. Let's use our power. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for contributing. And if you have any more questions, put them in the post. And I'm going to answer them as much as I can. Thank you so much for your contribution. Love and light to you, and until the next time. Bye-bye.